Hello everyone and welcome back for another video. So in this video I'm just going to show you how I've built my recent bed for my camper van. So basically this fits into the camper van. There's no screws involved in keeping it in place. It relies on gravity and basically butting against the contours of the van. So here I'm just making the two sides. Basically you could think of these as two legs basically at either side, and these slot through the very bottom board. And as I said before, this actually relies on gravity, so everything's stacked on top of one another. It all basically slots and connects into place. So this is really simple, but it seems to be working out very well in my van. So here you can see it's just making sure that the fit's okay, which it is. Here you can see is cutting out some of the contour of the van. So basically the whole entire time I was recording this video I was back and forward to the van, making templates up, so on and so forth. I didn't actually show any of that because it was just too much hassle to set the camera up and then take it out of the garden out to where the vehicle's parked and then bring it back, so on and so forth. But that's what I did. So here I'm just neatening up some edges and taking the time to actually use my canap plane. I've been using this pretty much the whole entire build. Quite nice, just something for a change because I don't typically use this all of the time, so it was a nice change. So with this build I have went to the trouble to round over everything so everything's nice and smooth. Even the edges of what appear to be flats have been sanded over or planed ever so slightly. So this is how I dealt with cutting out the mortar slots, if you will. Basically drilled some holes. I pared down with a chisel to make that edge straight. Then I just used my Ryobi saw and just basically cut along the slot. This did vary ever so slightly as I was doing the build. I did try a couple of different techniques, but this seemed to be one of the better techniques. So here I'm just squaring up the edges of the slots. I did actually have to take some off the side, which I didn't show. Basically I just used a chisel, finished up with sandpaper, file, so on and so forth, and just went backwards and forwards with a scrap of wood and just tried to make sure that it was a tight fit but it wasn't overly tight. This is the front section of the main body, and basically I'm measured out for some mortises. Right now you can see is actually cutting out some of the contours of the van. This is actually one of the wheel arches. Same again, I was backwards and forwards to the van, making templates out of plywood and cardboard, etc. So this is me cutting out the top tenons. This technique worked out pretty well, gave us pretty decent results. I did obviously have to finish up with some chisel work and some sandpaper, etc. But all in all, just straight off the saw, I did get some good results. So this is me marking out some of the mortise holes for the top section. I did already have the mortise holes cut out for the two leg sections. Similar sort of thing. You just get everything lined up the best you can and basically mark around them. Pretty much the same again, how I cut the mortises out. The only difference with this, I did actually use my smaller saw, which was just a little bit better to get into the smaller mortises. So yeah, I'm just fitting everything together, making sure that I'm making good, precise progress. So off camera, I basically cut two doors, and basically here you can see is I've obviously got the doors in place, got them clamped into place, and I'm just marking out where the corners of the door are. And this is basically because of the way I've done the hinges. I've just used two nails either side to act as hinges, which work really well, to be honest. So here you can see it's just drilling for the nails. Basically drill for the nail, apply a bit of glue, and just tacked it into place, and it worked out really well. And yes, this was a little bit awkward. Totally misplaced me hacksaw. I have no idea where the frame is, but at least I was able to cut them. And you can see as now I'm just fitting the doors, which again is just super easy, just making sure everything is working as it should. So off camera, I cut the rest of the top, which is going to be the bed basically. Here you've just seen us putting some screws in for the hinges. These are just piano hinges, and you can see the tri-fold bed, how it's going to work. So now I'm just making the front base, basically same sort of construction, but I did add some half lap slots, if you will. Again, it's nice and easy, nothing too complicated, but very effective again. So yeah, you can see is assemble what's going to be the front section of the whole bed, which is the part that actually slides backwards and forwards. Just checking things, making sure everything's okay. Yeah, you can see is actually sitting down and make sure that I'm happy with the structure and kind of just ponder on what I'm going to do next with it. So one of the issues I did have was basically how to support the middle set of hinges. So what I actually come up with was basically creating kind of a set of legs that were kind of attached in the same similar fashion as a drawer. Basically, these slide backwards and forwards. Very simple design. Basically fitted with some slots, which you're going to see is cutting in a moment. Yeah, you can actually see us cutting out a little V section. What this V section is for is actually just to allow some space or room for the barrel of the hinge to actually sit in, so it's flush. The two slots that you can see either side, that's to actually take a batten either side, which actually supports either side of the hinge. And obviously the centre of the hinge is it just needs a little bit of clearance, and that's what the V's are for. So here you can see is fitting the runners. I have actually got some paper in between the runner and the leg, folded in half, and this is just so everything's not so tight, to allow the legs to slide in and out in a drawer fashion. Here I'm just adding a couple of chocks of plywood, and this is just basically so the legs don't slide off the rail basically. A little bit of a test. Something to note, here, once I did actually get a finish on, I did put some wax on there, and it did make the slide a lot easier. You can see us here just shaping some of the last components. I do go through everything. I've done this off camera, you know, sanded everything, made sure that all the edges were nice and smooth. Everything's, you know, there's no sharp edges basically that can cut me or cut any of the material there that's going to be on top of the bed. This is basically a hole I'm drilling for the rope, or the string rather. There is some string. You will basically see that if you do pay close attention to this video as I'm assembling. The purpose of the string is that when I'm actually pulling the bed out, the drawer needs to be retracted back towards where the hinges are basically. So as you pull the front section of the bed out, obviously there's tension in the string, and then that basically pulls the drawer out basically. So that's what the string's for. Obviously this is just a trial run before I put it into the van, which went really well. But yeah, you can see it's putting things together. In there you can see the rope hanging down. The rope itself has just got some toggles on it, just some dowel. It did take a while for us to get the right length to make the drawer pull out correctly. I don't know if you can see it there, the two little legs. Obviously you see me jumping around there. Everything's nice and easy. So while it was out, I did decide to lay all the holes out, drill them. Okay, so since we've had really bad weather, I haven't been able to show you every single thing, but I'm going to put a video on the screen right now, and this is going to show me actually installing this into the van, obviously without any screws and whatnot. So a couple of things I didn't record, and I'm going to put a picture up somewhere around here, I think. I made a couple of hooks. These were just made out of tent pegs, very simple. To be honest, they do look a little bit tacky. I'm probably going to replace them with something that looks a little bit better, but they do work for the moment. So it's basically going to stop this bed shooting out if I slam the brakes on, so on and so forth. Another thing that I did not show is on the main cabinet body, which is the very back, underneath the hinge there's actually a little lip, and this little lip is just there to take the stress off the hinge, so basically the screws don't come out, because eventually they would. So that's what that's here for. Let us know what you think of the build. Any questions about it, let us know. And again, thanks very much for watching, and until the next time, I shall see and speak to you guys later. Oh, and I almost forgot, in the back I did actually put a couple of magnetic catches just for the doors, and that's everything. So I'll see you guys later.